From baseball to the Civil War, documentary filmmaker Ken Burns has highlighted the stories that have bound our nation together and tested our collective resolve. Ahead of America's 250th birthday next year, he's now turning his attention to the story that started it all, the American Revolution, a 6-part, 12-hour epic premiering tonight on PBS. And Ken Burns joins us right now. Congratulations on the new documentary. I've started watching it, just terrific. Is this your most ambitious project yet?
I don't know if it's the most ambitious. Vietnam was really hard. The Civil War was really hard. Baseball was really hard. But I'll say this about the American Revolution. And that's my co-directors, David Schmidt and Sarah Botstein, we won't work on a more important project than this one.
And one of the things remarkable, and this, again, not unique to your work, but really comes out here, is you have tapped some of Hollywood's biggest stars to help bring to life the words of those that were there, that were part of the American founding of the Revolutionary War. I want to play Claire Danes reading the words of Abigail Adams, something she wrote just after the Battle of Lexington and Concord. Take a listen.
What a scene has opened upon us. If we look back, we are amazed at what is past. If we look forward, we must shudder at the view. Our only comfort lies in the justice of our cause. All our worldly comforts are now at stake. Our nearest and dearest connections are hazarding their lives and properties. God give them wisdom and integrity sufficient to the great cause in which they are engaged.
Abigail Adams is writing as if she knows that 250 years later, we would still be reciting her words. She's obviously a terrific writer, but I just get a sense, and so many of the founders seem to know that they were not just engaged in an epic battle, but they were changing the course of history.
Oh, they did, and they're writing to us. They're talking to you and to me. They're saying, John Adams, her husband, is saying, this is something that's going to affect untold millions that are yet born. This is a big deal. For the first time in human history, people are not going to be under authoritarian rules, subjects, ignorant, superstitious, distracted by conspiracies, but they're going to be citizens, which is going to require a lot of responsibility. And as Abigail fears, they do have the justice of the cause, but they're up against the greatest military power on earth with the most far-flung empire on earth. How the hell are these people who have just been mowed down on Lexington Green and finally fought back at the North Bridge in Concord and harassed the British already back to Boston? How are they, in April of 1775, 6.5 years later at Yorktown, gonna win? And that's the story of our 12 hours. We don't have photographs, we don't have newsreels, we don't have them talking to the camera. What we have are their words, what we have are the places that they transformed, and what we have are groups of dedicated people who've been doing these reenactments for years and years, which we collected over 6 or 7 years of filming in every time of day of night, in every season, in every location, from Maine to Georgia. Getting a sense of what it was like to be in that revolution, and including everybody, not just the opaque top-down people who we think we can give you a real sense of who they were, particularly George Washington, the most important person to this thing, but also the women who are hugely important, keeping the resistance alive, Native Americans, Black Americans, both enslaved and free. It is a dynamic story of a revolution, but a civil war and a world war all at once, and it's the 4th World War over the prize of North America.
And you present it in all its complexities. Before you go, I want to bring to you something that Thomas Jefferson wrote after all of this. He wrote after Shays' Rebellion, famous quote where he says, "God forbid we should ever be 20 years without such a rebellion. The tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants." Is it your sense that they believed, after spending so much time immersed in this, that they believed that this project would still be underway 250 years later?
Well, I think that Jefferson kind of regretted that. People have used this now, his quote, as a kind of an excuse for violence. He said in the Declaration itself that things shouldn't be changed for light or transient reasons. But they did want the idea of the United States to be fluid. Remember, he does say in that document, the pursuit of happiness. We can debate what happiness is. They meant lifelong learning, but the key word is the pursuit. Or later in the Constitution, a more perfect union. We're a nation in the process of becoming, and that's been my beat. That's what I've done for the last 50 years, is try to understand what it is about the story of the United States that is so unusual and so complicated and has so much undertow and yet is so inspiring. So the revolution is the big bang of this universe. So it is about the story of the expanding American promise, and that's what's so, to me, just exhilarating about diving into the American Revolution.
Well, Ken, I wish we had another 5 parts and another 11 or 12 hours to go with this interview, but I am out of time. I hope to talk to you again soon. Again, congratulations on the documentary, out tonight. Appreciate it very much.